they really don't know Jesus. Just know that he's the seed, and please believe it. We got the keys to the kingdom. We'll never be defeated. Evil legions, all of these demons. I know you see them scheming, please believe it. We got the keys to the kingdom. We got the keys for these brothers with Jesus pieces, but they really don't know Jesus. Just know that he's the seed, and please believe it. We got the keys to the kingdom. We'll never be defeated. Evil legions, all of these demons. I know you see them scheming, please believe it. We got the keys to the kingdom. We got the keys to the keys to the.
What's your question, sir? What tribe were they supposed to destroy? All right, so that would be that would be the Amalekites. With Samuel. First Samuel when he didn't wipe them away. 15, 1 Samuel 15. And you the true image of Christ, correct? You want the true image of Christ, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was.
Okay, yeah, listen, and that's no knock, because that's what a lot of us were brought up. I came up here in Christianity as well. I was brought up in that same thing, all right?
1 Samuel 15, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have.
So it was commanded, this is during the time of King Saul, all right? So it was commanded that King Saul is to wipe this nation out off the face of the earth, all right? And he didn't, you're correct.
And spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
So he told them to slay everything that they have. So one thing we get out of that is we got to understand what type of God we truly serve. This God of the Bible told you to go kill the women of that nation, the children of that nation, the animals of that nation, the men. He said wipe it all out. You understand that? So we got to understand. I want y'all to keep that in your mind as we go along. What type of God we serve that will flood the whole earth and only save 8 people. All right? Destroy whole nations of Sodom and Gomorrah with fire. You understand that? Send plagues upon nations, all right? Destroy hundreds of thousands of people at, boom, the flick of a finger at 1 second, all right?
Verse 9, but Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of his sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly.
So they didn't destroy everything. Saul didn't destroy everything. All right, he thought he was going to take the best of the things he wanted and sacrifice it to God. But the point of this, I'm going to show you the point of this.
Verse 22, and Samuel said, hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord.
So, because Saul thought he was going to sacrifice to God, but God says he doesn't have the delight in those burnt sacrifices. The delight that he has is for his nation of people, the Israelites, to obey his commandments, all right? To follow, take heed to his instructions. Read.
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
So God says to obey him is better than sacrifice. Read.
And to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry.
So it says rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, all right? Stubbornness is as the iniquity of idolatry. So sis, right here, so we answered your question. You got that? You good on that? All right, sis, so you said this imagery is what we were given of Christ, all right? So so this was through Sunday school, through church worship. Who? You believe Jesus? All right, so let's get it out the Bible. Let's Revelation. So you believe So you don't think Christ is white or black? Okay. Let's see what the Bible says.
Bring it out.
Revelation 1, verse 1.
Bring it out.
The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
So this is the revelation or the revealing of Jesus Christ, right? So it had to be recorded in the Bible to show the servants of God, to show you Israelites what the depiction of Christ, all right?
Verse 14, his head and his hairs were white like wool.
So now it says the head on his face and the hair on his head were white like wool, okay? So we all can agree Christ had woolly texture hair, right? So who has woolly texture hair on the face of the earth today?
Bring it out.
That's all. You can look around. That's all within our community. Wool everywhere. Read.
As white as snow.
And I said his hair was white. So the imagery that they gave us of Christ, does that nothing matches? All right. So now I want y'all to examine that picture over there. So if I'm a sketch artist, right? And do you have any children or anything? I'll say one of your children are missing, all right? And I come over there and we need to make a sketch of what he looks like. And you're describing him. Well, he has woolly hair, he has a bush, he has a beard on him. So all we're saying with this image is this is just a more accurate description of what the Bible says that Christ looks like, all right? We're not saying that particular image is Christ, all right?
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So now it says Christ had eyes as a flame of fire. So we all understand fire is red, all right? So meaning when you read in Genesis 49, you don't got to go there, 49 to 12, Christ drunk wine, all right, in moderation. There's no sin against drinking, all right? It's a sin to get drunk, you know, but there's no sin against drinking and having a good time, things like that, all right? So Christ drunk, all right?
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Now it says the feet of Christ were like fine brass, all right? What color is brass? Exactly. Brass is like a brownish tint. So now, if I look at any one of your feet, if we were to take our shoes off, do the feet match the same color as our body? Well, see, no, we're not. So, look, when we say that though, but the basic point of that is what? That okay, if you took your shoes off and all you wore was sandals, would it match the same? All right, same thing with Christ. You can see Christ's feet because Christ had sandals on. So if it said his feet is like fine brass, what's the rest of the color of his body? All right, he's a brown color. Read. Now now it's going to go a little more into detail about that.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Now you take those feet and you stick it in the furnace and you burn it. What happens when you burn anything?
It turns black.
Exactly. My man right here, black, instantly. Instantly it turns black, all right? You understand it? Instantly it's black. So that's telling you Christ was a dark-skinned man.
That's
right? You understand that? According to the Bible. So let me ask this. So now, what does this image do? Huh? So it's exactly.
White people feel like they run things.
Oh, there you go, my man. There you go. Give me 2 Corinthians 11.
He wants to know why does the names, Caucasian names in the New Testament, if they're black people?
Say that again.
He wants to know why are the names, Caucasian names, Luke, John, Matthew, if they were black people. That's what he wants.
Oh, okay.
Translation.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you on that. Real quick, give him, jump to Isaiah 28. I'm gonna answer this real quick for you, and then we're gonna get, and then I want to get y'all one more thing real quick about Christ, because you gotta understand this false image of Christ. All right, that doesn't just say, oh, Christ is black. All right, because everything behind that comes with something. You understand that? They don't just give you a white Christ and everything in the Bible is accurate what they taught you.
What I think is you want to be like everybody. I mean, you know, like all the people they made. That's what I think.
Okay, well,
We'll see. Hold on, let me get a description.
Isaiah 28, verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
So, it was prophesied that the children of Israel would have to go into slavery, okay? So, the Bible says with a stammering lips and a different tongue, meaning another language, will God have to speak to his people. Because, yes, the original Bible was written in Hebrew, correct? I'm asking, do you agree with that? Okay, so, do you speak Hebrew? Okay, so how would you be able to understand this Bible? So what God says was, in order to reach his people, in order for you to come here this day and understand that you are an Israelite clearly, he would have to speak to you in a different language, meaning the language of our oppressors, because we were oppressed in this land.
That's right.
The reason we speak English is because we were oppressed.
That's right.
So when you read the Bible, remember, the Bible was translated. This is the King James Version. Who has a Zondervan? Anybody? Can somebody grab his on? No, not you. So what you got to understand is this is the King James Bible, okay? It was translated from Hebrew and Greek, all right, to the English language, as well as many others, the Hispanic language, because the Israelites were scattered all over the world. So God already knew, he foreknew we were going to rebel against him, not keep his commandment. But he has that mercy to bring us back to come keep his law. So he orchestrated these Bibles to be translated so it can reach his people in these last days, all right? So I'm going to get you something real quick on the King James Version. Because the King James, many of us have this Bible, all right? The King James is the only authorized, authenticated Bible on the face of the earth, all right? That's the only Bible. No New English, new translations, none of that stuff. King James is the only one. You got me? So read the title of the book for him. So I want you to know scholars wrote this book. This is not nothing all of us came back, you know, and wrote it. You know, this is written from scholars. So this is letting you know what scholars know about your history that you don't know.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Definition of Bible, King James Version. 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day were divided into 6 groups.
So you got 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars, all right? So they divide them up into 6 different groups. Read.
3 for the Old Testament, 2 for the New, and 1 for the Apocrypha.
So as they divide them up in all of these different groups, all right, they have some for the Old Testament, some for the New, and some for the Apocrypha. If you don't mind, how old are you? Yeah. 75. So were you in church at a younger age? You grew up in church? So do you remember in church, I know a lot of our older elders in our community, you remember the Maccabees book? That was in the Bible growing up when you were in church, was it not? Exactly. So that's when it goes to the Apocrypha. That's what those books are talking about. Right. You have your Maccabees, you have your Esdras, you have your Judas. Those books are in the original 1611 King James Bible, all right? They were removed in 1619 by the Protestant church, all right? So as he has these 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars, they are now dividing up into different groups to translate the book into different languages. Read.
I'm going to read up a bit. Several months after he ascended to the throne of England, he authorized a new translation of the Bible to replace the bishop's Bible.
So all King James did was authorize a new translation, all right? So when you take something from one language and change it to a different language, you keep the same contents, it's just it's able to understand in a different language. That's correct? Right. So where you have differences at is when you have a new English version, right? You can't translate English to English without changing words. You understand that? You can translate Hebrew and Greek to English and keeping the same contents of the Bible, but you can't change the same thing you can't change the same thing multiple times in the same language and keep it pure. All right.
2 of the groups met at Oxford, 2 at Cambridge, and 2 at Westminster.
So So these are some of the most prestigious colleges in the world till this day.
That's right.
These colleges are rooted deep in history, all right? So this is not no community college down the street, you know? These are some of the most deepest colleges that you can get on the face of this earth till this day. This is where these scholars come from.
When a group had completed its task, its work was submitted to 12 men, 2 from each panel.
So now you had the group who were divided up, a New Testament, Old Testament, and Apocrypha. Then after they translated, they had to submit their translation to another 12 panel of men. See the cross-examination to get the authenticity of the Bible, all right?
Final differences of opinion were settled at a general meeting of each company.
So now they had a general meeting where they were then further gonna discuss and go over to make sure this thing was accurate, all right? So this is not just one person sitting down in a deep, dark dungeon. No, this is some of the best scholars the world ever knew at this time, most fluent men in these particular language to translate this Bible into an English language.
We used to scream Black Power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.